Hello guys, this is Sharlene and you are in my YouTube series, Sharlene's ARTventures. So for today's video, I am going to paint a portrait using watercolors. The list of things that I will be using will be listed down below, so don't forget to check them out. I will also give you tips and some advices on how to draw portrait using watercolor, so stay tuned and let's start. So the first thing I usually do is to study my reference. Then I sketch the subject on watercolor paper using freehand or grid method and use kneaded eraser to lighten up the sketch. After preparing my sketch, I then create skin tone swatches by mixing colors. So I start painting using wet on wet technique for the base of skin tone and start off with a very light base, avoiding the eye and teeth area. I find it easier to start with a very light base than lifting up the colors afterwards. I will be adding more and more layers, especially to areas that need depth, until I'm satisfied with the base and midtones. When adding layers, I always make sure the paper is completely dry before I add another layer. While waiting for the skin to dry, I start painting the background using wet on wet technique. Just make sure that it won't touch the wet area in the face so the paint won't bleed there. Believe me, you don't want that to happen. So I continuously add and build up layers gradually until I achieve the values I need. When adding shadows and details, I apply my paint on dry paper. This will allow me to have more control on where the paint should go. When I want soft edges, I just drag and blend the paint carefully using a clean and damp brush. When I want it crisp, I just leave it as it is. It will leave hard and defined edges once it dries. After achieving the values that I need for the skin tone, I go on and fill in the brows, the eyes, and the lips. For the details, I also like to add and build up layers until I achieve the color that I love. I know it can be a bit frustrating with all these layers and layers, but the key is to be patient. Believe me, watercolor portraits really test my patience, but they're fun to do so. And when you're at the stage of adding the details, you will know that being patient is worth it. And painting the details, especially the eyes, is my favorite part of the process because I think it brings the painting to life. It encourages you to continue and finish the painting. So while waiting for the details to dry, I add more layers to the background and to the clothes before I start painting the hair. Again, for the hair, I will gradually build up layers so I won't need to lift off the paint for the hair highlights. Here on the left side of the hair, I would like to play and tweak it a little bit so it would look like it's bleeding to the background. Now let's do the fringe. Always be very careful when doing the fringe because once you paint it, there's no turning back. Just a little bit of disclaimer here. I am not into hyper-realism, so it's okay for me not to get all the details so accurately, as I like to tweak it a little bit and add my own style into the painting. I am well aware that there are lots of ways on how to do a watercolor portrait, and one of which is how to do mine. There are lots of techniques that other artists are using, and really there's no wrong way to do it. But I really do hope that you learned something from this video. So just keep on watching and enjoy the rest of the video. By the way, this cute and sweet little girl in my reference is my niece, Annika Paula. But we call her Pau Pau because her cheeks are like Shopao. So I decided to make the background a little brighter, so I added cerulean blue and a little pink. Then I finalized the color of the clothes by adding more shadows. And finally adding some highlights to where they are needed. So yeah, that is how I do watercolor portrait, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications, and of course, like and share this video and comment down if you have any questions or suggestions. Bye!
Ate Shasha, this is how to tumbling daw Ate Pau Pau. Okay, go.